Writing a good plot from scratch is hard. I believe the easiest way to write one is by basing it on the character and theme development. So far, I have charts for character arcs, internal conflict, and theme development. By shaping the key events in the story around the steps in each of these charts, you can easily get a rough draft for a story. For example, if I'm just working with the character arc, the reason potentially gives me a backstory, the start gives me an intro, the pivotal event gives me either an inciting incident or midpoint, the end gives me the second half of my story, the proof gives me a climax. One important element that will really add seasoning to your story is a funnel. A funnel is the unique idea that narrows down how the character and theme development will be executed in the plot. I'll start with a metaphor. I live in a fantasy world where everyone has magic energy in them. If I channel my energy through this first magic sword, the output is fire magic. If I channel it through the second magic sword, the output is lightning magic. The magic sword is the funnel. My energy is the character and theme development. The magic output is the plot. My energy may already have its own unique features, but the magic sword makes the magic output even more unique. Now, let me give real examples of plots shaped by character and theme development. I'll call these symbiotic plots. Spoilers ahead. In Iron Man, the character arcs and competing beliefs are no accountability versus full accountability. There are infinite ways this type of story could be executed, but each belief is given its own unique funnel, which narrows it down to a specific creative idea. No accountability is channeled through Stark Industries and its weapons, a company the protagonist inherited from his father. Full accountability is channeled through the Iron Man suit that Tony makes to get rid of his weapons. Look at how this shapes the plot. The start is Tony being the head of Stark's weapons. The inciting incident is him nearly dying and being captured due to his own weapons. The funnel of his start belief works against him, creating a pivotal event. This is also evidence of the winner belief, and it becomes Tony's winner reason. Tony creates the Iron Man suit to free himself and becomes a superhero to destroy his weapons. This is the funnel of the end/winner belief being executed and also taking down the negative results of his start/loser belief. At the end, he fights Obadiah Stane because he believes in the loser belief. He wanted to take over the funnel of the start/loser belief, which is Stark Industries. Breaking Bad uses the internal conflict chart. Its two desires for Walt are be a family man versus be powerful. That alone does not give us Breaking Bad because there are so many ways this internal conflict could be expressed. The story chooses the funnel of the meth business, and that's the first spark that really separates it from others. Walt's desire to be powerful is channeled through the meth business, so the plot is about him building a meth empire. Another unique funnel was Walt's cancer, but this was a funnel for the inciting incident rather than any character or theme development. The plot is built around how his choices within the funnels of meth and cancer change his character and the world around him. The Sasuke recovery arc from Naruto does this too. Since this arc is a little more complicated, I'll use the words hero belief and villain belief. The hero belief is bonds are more important. The villain belief is power is more important. The funnel for these beliefs is loyalty to ninja villages. Channeled through this funnel, the hero belief is staying in the Leaf Village, the place the main characters are from, while the villain belief is defecting to the Sound Village, which recently attacked the Leaf Village and killed their leader. Not only is leaving a village a crime in this world, but going to an enemy village is even worse. Sasuke, the focus of this conflict, is going to the Sound Village because he knows he can get much stronger there. The reason is because of a secondary funnel that tempts him towards the villain belief, the curse mark. The leader of the Sound Village gave Sasuke a curse mark that increased his power, but he hadn't mastered it yet. Power versus bond is funneled through village loyalty, and the temptation of power is funneled through the curse mark. Those are the funnels. Here's how the plot is created. Sasuke has a character arc where he moves from neutral or hero belief to the villain belief. His start was being content with staying in the Leaf Village, but multiple pivotal moments made him realize that he was being surpassed in power by his rival and he needed to get stronger. These were evidence of the villain belief. Staying in the Leaf Village won't make him strong enough. Orochimaru, leader of the Sound Village, also gave Sasuke an incomplete curse mark that gave him more power. This was more evidence in support of the villain belief. Finally, Sasuke was defeated by a group of Sound Ninja who had more experience with their curse marks. All of these pivotal events and villain evidence are villain reasons that cause him to switch to his end belief, which is also the villain belief. Sasuke abandons the Leaf Village to go to the Sound, so his allies chase him down to bring him back before he reaches the Sound. Throughout their fights, evidence for the hero belief manifests in characters being empowered by the desire to fight for their friends and village and the arrival of backup allies. The final fight is Naruto vs Sasuke, the main representatives of the hero and villain beliefs. The fight concludes with Sasuke winning with his curse mark, a funnel for his belief, which is proof for his villain belief. But he also didn't kill Naruto, his closest friend, when he had the opportunity to. which shows that he hasn't fully abandoned the hero belief yet. About 75% of the plot was constructed from the character development, theme development, and the funnel. Now, I'll cover some examples of stories that have similar themes or character development, but due to their different funnels, they result in different stories. Ratatouille and Monsters University both have very similar themes and arcs. Both have themes with competing beliefs of anyone can do X versus not anyone can do X. Both have protagonists who have flat arcs where they try to change the mind of others. Both have a climax where the protagonist challenges the representative of the loser belief and surprises them. The difference is in the funnels. Ratatouille's overarching funnel is cooking, while Monsters University is monster scaring. Both stories have a funnel for the winner belief. In this case, it's an underdog funnel that makes the hero looked down upon, giving him a reason to believe in the winner belief. In Ratatouille, the underdog funnel is being a rat. In Monsters, is being a monster that doesn't look scary. They also have overdog funnels. Ratatouille has high-class cooking, and Monsters has naturally scary monsters. Both plots have the hero trying to prove to others that they can do X despite their physical limitations. They also channel their unique skills through a deuteragonist who is more fit for the role due to his connection to the overdog funnel. Linguini is the son of Gusteau, a legendary chef, so people believe his talent was passed down. In Monsters, Sully is also from a legendary family and looks naturally scary. Ego and Hardscrabble are the main representatives of the loser belief. Ego is a ruthless food critic, while Hardscrabble is a legendary scary monster that's the principal of the university. In the climax, the two heroes combine their skills to impress the loser rep and change their mind. There are smaller differences in the plot. For example, Sully starts as an antagonist representative for the loser before changing to the winner. Linguini doesn't. They have a minor falling out, but it's not because of the theme. But overall, the substance that is channeled through the funnel is very similar between the stories. But because their funnels are wildly different, the output is two stories that feel different enough. It was disguised well enough that I've never seen anyone compare the two films or say they're the same. Whiplash and The Devil Wears Prada have a similar dynamic. Both stories are about a specific field of passion and have a hero versus villain conflict of it's okay to be normal versus you have to make sacrifices to become great. Whiplash's funnel is band music, while Prada's is the fashion industry. They have a protagonist who has a prominent villain mentor that takes them under their wing and changes them through bullying. The protagonist loses their relationships from their life before the change and makes a final climactic decision. There are differences in the result of the theme and character development, but the funnel being different is the main thing that separates the two stories, giving them distinct plots. There are other stories about how artistic obsession can destroy the life of an artist, like Black Swan and The Prestige, but the funnel shapes the events of the plot. If the funnels are different enough, the plots will be too. Having a unique funnel that creatively expresses elements of your theme and character development is a strong way to start building a distinct plot, and the steps from my charts provide key events for the plot in order. Using this funnel technique should do the heavy lifting in writing a plot, completing at least 50%. It takes care of the most important events in the story and leaves room for you to fill in the open space. This works best for a single story arc. Stretching it over the course of multiple arcs, seasons, or movies requires more work from the writer, as seen in Breaking Bad.